Hey guys, welcome back to the course. So how is it that a new company gets customers? Well, every company on the planet has started out at some moment in time with 0 customers. So how did they go from 0 to their first one, and then to their first 100, and then their first 1,000? In this lecture, I'm going to explain how virtually all businesses start out getting their customers, and how we're going to use that exact model as a guide for this course. Now, I'm sure all of you know someone that has started, let's say, a small business. And I mean started, not inherited, not bought, started from scratch. And yes, we are technically talking about people like Richard Branson and Donald Trump who did start their businesses, but they started it with a couple $100 million in inheritance, which tends to make things easier. Let's use the example of a normal person that has started an online clothing shop. Let's say he likes to design clothes, so it was a natural fit for him. When you look at that business from an outsider's perspective, it appears that they are doing several large things that get them customers. Maybe they're buying and designing magazine ads. Maybe they're putting out flyers. Maybe he has sponsorship somewhere, etc. What you need to understand is that you are looking at this business as it is today. And what it's doing today to get customers is almost never the way it got customers when it first started. It's very, very rarely the case that you'll see someone conceptualize a business and then just go all in with full-blown marketing. I would say you've never seen a brand new startup make, say, a Super Bowl ad, but I'm sure Silicon Valley has plenty of embarrassing examples. Or I guess I should say you very rarely see successful businesses that do that. When your friend started his clothing shop, he didn't write those magazine ads on day one. He didn't pump out the flyers by the hundreds. He probably did things that were much, much smaller and required more manual effort. And this is no different for you. Your business will go through distinct phases where you get your customers from different sources, means, and different strategies. But the one thing that ties all of these phases together is this lovely graph. Enter the all-knowing graph of business growthdom. Now, this is a way of understanding all of the marketing strategies you're going to learn in this course. Some strategies are going to be low effort, uncomplex, and as a result, only get you a few customers. And then some strategies are going to be really hard, really complex, long-term, but if done right, will get you a metric ton of customers. What you need to understand is this. All entrepreneurs start small and over time get complex. When you first start out with your business, you will not have a great idea who exactly your customers are, what they want to hear, if your product is great or only meh, if your page is optimized, if you're even going to be profitable. And this uncertainty means you need to try to preserve your resources and test the waters a little bit before you jump right in. To do this, you're going to focus on manual strategies, and that's everything we're going to do in section 1. It's also known as your first 10 customers. After you've gotten your first 10 customers, a little more feedback, a better but not fantastic understanding of what people are responding to, how to angle your messaging, you move up the chart and start some midterm strategies. This is what we do in the next section. We focus on strategies that are still pretty easy, but will get you 100 customers if done right. They're also less manual and generally more complex, but only slightly. Then you can pretty much guess where I'm going with this. We now have more data. We know roughly how popular a product is, what are the major consistent complaints from customers, how to match their needs after they use the product. You're going to start going for more long-term strategies at this point, and that is our section 3. It's getting your 500. Finally, we move on to phase number 4, where we know decently well what we are working with, and we have the confidence to spend a large amount of time on some more long-term strategies. These are the strategies that carry you from the 500 to the 1,000 plus and beyond. There really is no end in scope for these strategies if done well. These are kind of the end-all be-all. You can support these long-term growth strategies at this point because you will, have cash from the previous strategies. Over time, you will add complexity, effort, and a more long-term focus to your customer acquisition strategies. That's how you minimize risk, lower how much money out of pocket you have to pay, and quite frankly, make sure that you have a tight, well-oiled machine that's ready for thousands of customers and won't have any major surprises when you actually go out there and get a big surge in traffic. So that's exactly how our course works. 4 phases, 4 different types of strategies that fit onto this continuum. Now I know some of you might be saying, I don't want to do manual strategies if I'm just going to get rid of them later. That doesn't scale. Well, as it turns out, businesses that refuse to do these manual grunt work strategies in the beginning of their business are something like 5 times more likely to fail. There's actually an article attached in the resources. I strongly suggest reading it. It's from Paul Graham, the founder of Y Combinator, called Do Things That Don't Scale. You can kind of guess what he says. In the next lecture, let's hit on a quick concept about growth that will help you understand how these later strategies work together. All right, see you then.